guys feel that? Smell that? Taste that? There's a bit of a chill in the air. There's pumpkin spice flavoring everywhere. You guys, it is almost fall. At the time of recording this, I'm recording this in early September, and it is my favorite time of year for a plethora of reasons. Number one, the weather gets really beautiful in Michigan. But number two, I think it's a great time of year to really take stock of your goals, take stock of your intentions, and, really reverse course or steer the ship home, if you need to, or relax and just like enjoy what you've created so far this year. And for me personally, I really am having a like get it together moment for Q4, which is not started yet. Don't worry, we've got until October before it's officially Q4. But now, whenever you're listening to this, watching this, is really the time to get serious and to start thinking about how you do want to end the year. I'm actually going to be hosting a Q4 reset. It's going to be kind of a strategy working session. Think of it as a VIP day, but it's totally free. I want you to come and join if you are somebody who is feeling like you're behind on your goals, honestly, because this is me. I'm being fully transparent this year. I am behind on my goals. I was asleep at the wheel for like 90% of the year or 75% of the year, whatever. And I'm ready to take action on my goals. So I'll leave a link for that down below if you are watching in real time. Anyway, today I want to talk about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, which has become such a thing in the online business world or the offline business world in general. It used to be that Black Friday was like a day. Do you guys remember that? A day when you go to the mall early and do what you need to do. Well, now it is a whole BFCM, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and it really has stretched out to be like weeks, if not the whole month of November. The first thing I want to say about Black Friday, Cyber Monday is you don't have to take part in it necessarily. Like, if it doesn't make sense for your business strategy, you don't have to create an offering. But I do think that it's a fun time to maybe test out something new that you want to like beta test at a lower discounted rate or something like that, and kind of have an excuse to do that, right? And I also look at it as a really fun way to be able to give back to my community and to my audience. Because, yeah, I have to pay my bills, right? But this is a fun excuse to say, hey, I'm doing a super big discount for a limited period of time. And lastly, it's a great way to reach those last minute sales goals. November, honestly, it's kind of like that's the end of the year for me when I really think about it, because December, by and large, tends to be pretty slow for me in my business. People's budgets have been used up, and people are just off work, spending time with their families. So really, November, Black Friday is kind of like the last hurrah, and it's like, let me try to reach these sales goals, with limited time here. So here's the things that I am thinking about currently. Number one, first step is to plan out your offers. What do you want to offer? How much of a discount do you want to make it? Do you want to test something new, discount something that's existing? Start to really think about that. And again, I kind of look at this in two different ways. I either think, what are my most in demand, most loved, highest volume offers that I know are going to fly off the shelves? Like, if I do $20 off the social media management toolbox, for example, which is my best-selling course, I sell the most number of units of that program. I know that I'm going to make an extra, I don't even know how much, but a good chunk of change, because I know that product has been validated. It has gotten tons of reviews. I have tons of assets for it. And so I know that sale will probably do well. But the other way I like to think about Black Friday, Cyber Monday is, like I just mentioned, like, is there something new that I want to try that I'm kind of needing a little bit of an excuse to offer at a discount, or that might make sense as a timely offer for end of the year, beginning of the year for people? So an example of this is my first course ever. I called it a Journey Social. If anyone is an OG from that time, please let me know. But it basically turned into what is now called the Social Media Management Roadmap, and it's an evergreen course. I launched that on Black Friday, and I used it just because I knew a lot of people were going to be online looking for offers, looking for discounts, looking for sales, and it gave me an excuse to offer it for a really low beta rate. I think I don't even actually know. This was so many years ago now, but if I were to do something like that now, I might offer, a $500 course at a beta rate of $200. That's what I did for the accelerator. It wasn't during Black Friday, but I did that for the first round as a beta. Whatever that might be, plan out your offers. And my advice, especially in today's economy, is just like make it a freaking good offer. I'm telling you, people do not clamor for 10% off. 15% off. Like maybe there was a day and time when that made sense, but that day is not today. People want deep discounts. They want a few $100s off, 50% off, that kind of thing. I'm not saying like this is, the universal truth obviously, but this is what my audience tends to respond to. I also get a question a lot about should I offer services for Black Friday, Cyber Monday? And typically my answer is I do not like to discount services just because it's a lot harder to find the value in that versus like a digital product, a physical product, which yeah, I might get less overhead on a digital product or even on like a hoodie or something like that if you want to buy merch, which by the way, you guys, did you guys know that I have merch available? So many people were asking me, how can I support the studio, which I'm in right now, without coming to Ann Arbor, Michigan? Or I loved your shirt that you wore in your interview with D Green. And so I made them available. They're down below. No Black Friday deals yet, but maybe I will. But anyway, yes, you might get lower overhead on a product or, like that. But when you're discounting a service, you're literally having to work more for less money. It's a little bit of a different thing. So I typically do not, again, unless it's maybe a service that I want to trial or something like that. Last year, I actually did some asynchronous audits. So, and I might do that again because I actually really had a great time doing them. But I did like very low ticket. I think it was like $100 or something, where you could send me a link to your portfolio, your website, your YouTube channel, and I would record a little tele video, a screen share video giving you some actionable tips. So maybe I'll do that again because it was limited. I capped the number of seats for it. So it didn't feel like so much work, but I don't know that I would do like get a coaching call for 60% off. I'm not sure. Okay. Anyway, whenever you decide what you want to do, the next step is to audit your website and your checkout. This should really be done ASAP because this stuff takes forever. If you've got a broken website, if you've got broken links, if you've got broken checkout, like you might need to call in support. It's going to take a long time. And it is highly important, right? Because you want people to be able to pay you. So, this one, honestly, I don't have much to say about it except for try it out on mobile, try it out on desktop, try it out on iPhone, on Android, on Mac, on PC, on Safari, like try it out on every different method that you have access to. So call in friends, call in support. If you don't have business friends, join my group Down to Business. You'll find some. We will definitely help you out. Drop a link and we will test things out for you. At least I will. But yeah, seriously, like ask your friends, ask whoever you need to test things out for you. This has happened to me definitely where I've had a landing page that for some reason, like, why can't I click on the checkout button on an Android? Like it just doesn't work. Or it looks really funky on mobile. And you've got to remember, especially in today's day and age, I don't even know what the current stats are, but I'm sure it's more than ever. People are accessing websites from mobile devices. So you've got to make sure that that is optimized. And I also recommend sending it over to somebody else, a business friend, a friend, or whoever, just in general, who is like in your target audience too, who can kind of go through that flow for you and give you any notes. I get DMs from you whenever I do make a mistake. If there's a typo, if there's like, a thank you page that has the lorem ipsum text on it, or if there's just a missing opportunity where, maybe somebody who is auditing it for you can say, hey, I feel like it took me too long to scroll before I got to how much it cost. Or I could have really used a testimonial there. Or, I was on the fence until I saw this. Like having that sort of external feedback is really helpful to improve and make sure that it is converting properly, which brings us to step 3. So you want to make sure that you have tracking on your website, assuming you are, offering an online service or product, of course. This is going to vary by website provider. I personally use Squarespace, and so I use Google Analytics with Squarespace. Squarespace has their own native analytics as well, which is great, but Google Analytics is going to enable you to really get super, super granular with what pages are people looking at? How long are they staying on that page? You can even get really advanced and assign revenue numbers and, dollar amounts to checkouts and get really fancy with things if you want to actually see where your traffic is coming from, how much it's converting, and how much you're making per traffic channel, and so much more. Like, it is a very robust tool. And I'm going to be honest, I do not use it to its full potential, but I do have it enabled so that if I do need a quick answer, like, hey, where are people landing? Where are people sticking? Where am I losing people? Which traffic sources are bringing people to the landing page the most? Those are all super important questions. Like for me, I can easily see via my Google Analytics that YouTube is responsible for the large majority of my website traffic. And therefore, when I get to step 4, which we'll talk about in a second, which is building a content calendar, spoiler, I know I need to go hard with YouTube in November. Like, I'm probably not going to be worrying about writing tweets because Twitter, X, brings me virtually no traffic to my website. So let's maybe post a couple, but we don't need to stress out about it. But we do need to have a really solid, tight YouTube strategy, or else we're going to be missing opportunities here. So yeah, step 4, before I move on, if you're going to be using ads as well, if you're going to use Facebook Meta ads, LinkedIn ads, install those pixels as well. Honestly, even if you're not going to be using ads, but you have an ads account on those platforms, install those pixels. You never know when you're going to want to turn on an ad or when you're going to want to use data from your website in the future for this high volume, weekend or week or however long it is that you want to stretch it out. You never know when you're going to want that data. So install those pixels. It takes just a minute. It's a little techy, but I'm sure there's YouTube videos out here with instructions for all those things. If you have questions, join the free group and ask me, and I'll try to help you as best as I can. But set these things up. If you're a social media manager and you're consulting or working with a client, talk to their web team or whoever has the keys to their website and make sure that they install these things. Very, very important. It'll really help with ad performance and targeting and so many more things. Before we get into step 4, which is building your content calendar, I want to take a second to thank today's sponsor, Metricool. They are the platform that I use to build my content calendar, to publish my content calendars, to analyze how well my content is performing, and so much more. You can always use my code Latasha, that's Latasha, at the link down in the show notes to try any of their premium plans free for 30 days. They've also got an amazing free plan that's free forever that you can use. And if you're a longtime listener, it's been a while since I've updated you on Metricool's latest features, like they've got a schedule polls feature for LinkedIn. As found in Metricool's 2025 LinkedIn report, polls are the least used content format, but they saw a 205% increase in reach. So if you're looking for a new set of eyes for your content, you can schedule LinkedIn polls directly from Metricool. You can also integrate Google Drive, Canva, and Adobe Express for unified asset management. You can access a post library to save ideas and drag and drop them into the calendar at any moment. There's a reuse content button, which lets you directly reschedule top performing content, maximize content reach and multi-platform coverage by reusing content in one click. I love this feature. And you can also view the social media manager calendars per country to know the top celebrations, holidays, and festivals in your region or your client's region. If you're a social media manager, a content creator, an entrepreneur, a marketer who's working in-house somewhere for a company, you've got to try out Metricool. That's Latasha for 30 days free on any of their premium plans. Okay, so build your content calendar. Like I said, look at some of that data. If you don't yet have Metricool or some other analytics tool or Google Analytics or Google Analytics, start there. Once you have those things set up, start looking at that data, right? Start looking at what content performed well, which traffic sources are bringing people to the page, the landing page that you're going to be driving people to. Just try to study as much information about your audience as you can, audience demographics, if you can find it, learn more about who you're really talking to, and then just work in reverse. So start with the last day, right? Usually this is Thanksgiving Day here in the US. is the final day for Black Friday. Although I personally usually stretch it out until Cyber Monday, which is the Monday following Thanksgiving. So that's kind of my end point. So I work backwards. I start, okay, we're going to do Cyber Monday. When are we going to start the sale? That's up to you to decide for sure. Like I said, nowadays people are starting as early as like November 1st. I usually start with like the day before Thanksgiving, or Thanksgiving Day, and then go until Cyber Monday. But you obviously want to make your content the heaviest during this time, but you need to ramp up as well. You need to have a ramp up period in your content because people are, number one, overwhelmed with offers during that very high traffic, high volume time. Number two, if they're not overwhelmed with offers, they're overwhelmed with their lives, right? I personally don't really do a lot of scrolling during Thanksgiving. I'm spending time with family, I'm eating, I'm cooking, I'm living my life. Well, I'm an online business owner, so kind of not really. But in theory, that's what I would be wanting to be doing. And so you want to make sure that you are warming people up as well. Something you could do if you don't have an email list is start driving people to your email list for Black Friday. So your content now, you're not going to be talking about your sales, right? It's way too early for that. But if I know I'm going to be creating, let's just say a Black Friday offer around YouTube, like a YouTube course, well, I might create a freebie right now, a lead magnet right now, and start posting a lot of content about YouTube marketing and driving people to that lead magnet. So I'm building my email list that is primed and ready for when I do drop those offers on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So yeah, build your content calendar. Make sure that you start thinking about what assets you're going to need, which I really think is step number 5, planning your visuals, right? This is the stuff that tends to take a long time and tends to hang people up is, hey, I know I need to create a video for, Black Friday, but it's Monday and I don't have time for it. So plan that stuff now and batch that stuff. I'm telling you, I mean, I'm sure you know, but as somebody who's been in online business for years now, the holidays just creep up. And I get lazy. Once it starts to get cold and I start to lose sunlight, I start to get real lazy. And so use September, use the time when you are still feeling energetic, when you don't have family or holiday obligations yet, to come to a studio, to build your own studio in your basement, to have a friend help you, to hire somebody like me, whatever you need to do to batch out a bunch of stuff so that you can be ready. And yes, this is definitely something that I offer assistance with. So if you're local or even if you're virtual and you want to film yourself but want help editing and getting stuff together for batching, you can reach out to me at my website, link down below, to start getting that batching calendar ready. Now's the time. Also create graphics. Like something that I always try to think about for Black Friday, Cyber Monday is to make things very shareable. So I like to create graphic posts for stories on Instagram, for YouTube community. This is something I always forget to post on. Add assets if I'm going to do that, that aren't just videos, because I think Black Friday also, like I said, people are very overwhelmed with information. So I feel like videos can sometimes not convert quite as well, actually, because people aren't taking the time to sit there and watch every single video that weekend. They want to like scroll their feed and be like, ooh, Latasha's offering 50% off everything. Cool, click, versus having to listen to me talk for, 20 minutes to spit that out. So, number 6, plan your email marketing. Just like your social media content, you want to do that same thing. Focus, the heaviest promotion period is going to be that actual like Friday through Monday or so. So, make sure to write out those emails so that you are not writing them day of. I have done this. You guys, I have done this so many times where I'm like, it's the day after Thanksgiving and I'm up early writing out emails to go out that weekend. And it's just not fun. And I also think they're just not going to be as effective because you're going to be rushed. You're going to be like missing things. Again, you're not going to have anybody to audit them or spell check them for you, look out for typos. So just get this done while you've got sunshine, while you've got energy. If you're not in the free group yet, join us. We do co-working sessions every week. This is a great use case. Like say, hey, I'm going to batch out my Black Friday emails today, or I'm going to plan them out. We got 45 minutes, so I don't know if it's time to write them all, but especially with the tools that we have in today's world, like you can absolutely get these done ahead of time. Yeah, and if you don't have an email list yet, get one started because this is really where the majority of my sales come from during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. It's not social media. That is a good place to get people onto my email list, but email is where I really am making the money. So I personally use Flowdesk and I do love it. I know I made a video recently where I talked about my open rates, not looking so hot. They have mostly improved, and honestly, they have improved thanks in large part due to Flowdesk's team, who really showed me support and education in that moment. So I am proud to link to them. They actually are the only email service provider, at least that I know of, that offers an unlimited plan, and it's actually going away. So if you want to get unlimited access to Flowdesk, you should sign up now rather than later before it goes away because they are keeping people on that plan even when the plans change. And what I mean by unlimited is that you can send as many emails to as many contacts as you want to. You do not get penalized for growing, right? Your price remains the same, your cost remains the same if you have 100 subscribers or 100,000 email subscribers. And this is the thing that really makes Flowdesk stand out. One of the big things that makes Flowdesk stand out for me. So I recommend hopping on that deal now. I'll leave a link down below. Okay, and then the last thing, I feel like people don't talk about this as much as I would like to hear. You got to create a customer support plan because there are going to be issues when you are having a high volume sales day, weekend period. There are going to be issues, right? People are going to have questions. There are going to be checkout glitches. There's going to be, stuff going on. And so think ahead of time at what are the most common questions I get about this product or service. If it's a new one and you haven't offered it yet, and so you don't know, ask people. Again, this is where having kind of that mastermind or that support group is going to come really in handy because you can kind of crowdsource those ideas. Hey, here's the new offer I have. What questions do you have about it? Can you, give me some ideas? If you were a customer, what would prevent you from clicking purchase or, that kind of thing? And start a Google Doc or Word doc or notes. I don't care where you write it, but write out those questions and write out those answers. And you can copy and paste them. Each of the different social platforms have different tools. Like on Instagram, you can create saved responses. You can create saved responses within Metricool and the inbox feature as well, which is pretty nice. Or you can just keep that doc open over that weekend and copy and paste responses, into emails and things like that. But you want to have them readily available. And you also want to plan out like who is in charge of this, right? Are you managing this stuff yourself? Are you going to need to hire? Like, do you need to hire a VA? Because if you need to hire a VA, you should probably start working on that now, because it's going to take some time to find them, to onboard them, to get everything all straightened out. Or, are you going to have a member of your team step into more of a customer support role and out of a different role for a period of time? Like, figure out that staffing need because, again, it's up to you. Like, I think I'm doing it myself because, I'm in a season where I don't have children. I'm not married. I don't really need to be fully offline or something for the holiday. But if you do, if you want to just spend time with your family and be offline truly for a weekend, this will cost you money. If you don't have customer support, it will cost you sanity. It'll create a headache for you because you're going to be doing something you don't want to be doing. So make sure to plan that out because there will be questions. And I don't say that to scare you. I just say that to be honest. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions about any of the things that I mentioned and want me to go deeper on any of it. Be sure to support our sponsor, Metricool. You can use my code Latasha at the link down below for 30 days free on any of their premium plans. They also have a free forever plan. I will also leave a link to my free Q4 training. We're going to roll those sleeves up, bust out those vision boards, adjust them if we need to, and we are going to step into Q4 ready to achieve our goals and really, step into it with intention. That's my goal, at least. And of course, you can join Down to Business. It's my free community on School. I'd love to have you over there for co-working, workshops, and so much more. Thanks so much for tuning in to Freelance Friday. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.